Hello. I this one this one's interesting. I got a hair tissue mineral analysis back, and I'm gonna end up reading some stuff because it's easier than making it up. Anyway, and so with the hair tissue mineral analysis, you've got the you know, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc. Sorry, little burps. Pardon. But also heavy metals, and one of them came up with arsenic, and I'm like, huh. Now, I came across an article, and it was going through, which of these things would you assume to have the most likely contaminant? And goodness, you would never guess that one of them contains dangerously high levels of deadly poison, so arsenic. This deadly toxin is astonishingly versatile, able to cause damage even at low doses. It's easily absorbed into the stomach and intestines, and from there it spreads to damage your entire body, including your skin, liver, lungs, kidneys, etc. They're talking about red wine. Researchers tested 65 different wines from all over the four top wine producing regions in the United States, and they found significant levels of arsenic in almost all of them. In fact, researchers found as much as 76 parts per billion of arsenic in some of the samples, which is more than 7 times the amount of arsenic that the EPA considers safe in drinking water. So, people have asked these questions all the time. Well, how is all of this getting in our water, getting in our food supply? And you think about the amount of Monsanto glyphosate has been sprayed, like 5 billion tons. and it's just, it never stops. I mean, we're just poisoning our air and soil and water at a rate that's just so shocking. Anyways, environmental levels of arsenic have increased thanks to the heavy use of pesticides and poultry fertilizers that contain arsenic. In fact, the U.S. is the world's leading user of arsenic, accumulating a whopping 1.5 million tons of the poison, according to Consumer Reports. And all that just goes right into our soil or water. Unfortunately, grapes soak up arsenic very readily. Then when the grape skins are crushed to make red wine, the arsenic leaches out. Winemakers also use large amounts of water, which often contain arsenic, to process the wine, and that ends up in the bottle. And then it's like also going into the amount of rice that where did it go? So for people that I don't drink wine, you've got appropriate water filtration. Dozens of popular foods are likely loaded with high levels of arsenic also. So the healthier, like there's the healthy rice. Consumer Reports tested 223 samples of rice products and found significant levels of arsenic in all of them. White, brown, parboiled, jasmine, basmati, all of them were contaminated. So whether it's drinking wine, eating rice, the buildup over time, and I love rice, so it's kind of like you get to a point like, what the hell can we eat? But according to new research from Dartmouth, eating as little as a half a cup of rice a day can increase your levels of arsenic by 53% compared to those who don't eat rice, and drinking 5 to 6 glasses of red wine per week can increase your arsenic levels by 20%. So here's the thing. whether it's arsenic or the polychlorinated biphenyls or dioxins. Just that's just, I guess, all of the organic and inorganic things that are creating such toxicity in our environment, in our soil, water, etc. Oh, hey, so here's as low levels of different chemicals interact with each other. The result is that the combination of two chemicals together can have a much more toxic effect than either one alone. I didn't know they talked about it. So, for example, when you mix dioxins with the PCBs, the combined toxicity is 800 times greater than with either chemical alone, according to a study published by Environmental Health Perspectives. When you mix 4 popular food additives, the resulting mixture is 700% more toxic than the individual ingredients alone. According to a recent study in the Journal of Toxicological Science, the combination of aspartame, monosodium glutamate, and the artificial colorings quinolone yellow and the brilliant blues cause nerve cell damage. This combination of food additives is what is typically found in your blood after a snack and drink. And when you combine 6 common pollutants, you end up with blood sugar problems, according to a new report published by Diabetes Care. The greater your exposure to DDE plus 5 other common pollutants, the greater the chance you will have blood sugar problems. In fact, compared to people with the lowest level of toxins, the people with highest level in their blood were 38 times more likely to have severe blood sugar problems. So then people are like, well, what do we do? And for the daily rant, I go through the what I would say common and easy things that people can do, even if there's ongoing exposure. There's ways to detox and actually bind to and get these toxins out. They love our fat cells, they love our liver cells, and it can be difficult to remove them, and you need to do it what I would say in a safe manner, because once you start getting them released from the cells, you need to be able to bind and remove them from your system. Your detox pathways need to be robust. So it was just interesting when I saw this, because it's rare that I talk to somebody that doesn't have any issues, where they're just healthy. And I don't remember the last time I've spoken with somebody and I'm not talking about people that are calling for help. I mean, just in general conversation, it seems like there's always something. And then I ask, well, have you done any labs? Have you done a hair tissue mineral analysis? Have you done what is it? It's Great Plains has one. Yeah, the toxic non-metal chemicals. In fact, I think I can order that. I haven't done that one for me, and we know that I have stuff going on with in our mold exposure, but there's other things going on, and so I'm going to order that for me, because I don't like unknowns. But so I'm going to pause here for the daily rant viewers. I will have a little breakdown of pretty easy things. I mean, like, there's simple and easy things that you can do to help. Well, to figure out what's going on, like certain tests that we can do outside of these, and just things that are safe, where if you've got any of the issues that we'll be going through, you should be doing a detox a minimum of twice a year, just because every time we breathe in, we're breathing in some pretty nasty stuff. Okay. one of the things that, for going from more mainstream medicine, um, when I was talking about boosting detox pathways, glutathione is our body's master detoxifier. So my glutathione levels were low, like in the low 300s. Quest range is like 588 to 1220. I also had very high circulating B6. I don't convert pyridoxine hydrochloride or the inactive B6 to P5P, the active form, which is also critical for converting tyrosine to dopamine, 5-HTP or 5-hydroxytyramine to serotonin, super important, but also in multiple detox pathways, and specifically the conversion of cysteine or acetylcysteine to glutathione. The other component is niacin, and it is much better if it is the flushing kind. I I have flushed myself. I remember the first time I ended up going and laying down. It was on the weekend. I went and laid down on our bed. My hands, my palms were just tingling and burning, and my ears were bright red. In fact, Parker was like, "Daddy, what's wrong with your face?" My face was flushed, but my ears were red. It didn't last that long. I've done it a number of times, and now I don't really mind it. But those are those are two things that are critical. I prefer the glutathione patch because it's cheaper actually than the liposomal glutathione that we were taking, and I was taking that twice a day. So now, no, I put it on behind here. But yeah, I just that's not that's the energy enhancer. Anyway, but about 250 to 500, depending on how most people are. It'd be 500 twice a day of the liposomal glutathione. Again, I like the LifeWave patch because it's easy and it's more affordable. And then one of there's a number of things, like the charcoal or bentonite clay or zeolite clay, but modified citrus pectin. I'm going to read some information on that. So, one recent study, the USDA scientists gave people modified citrus pectin for 6 days. The scientists measured the amount of toxins excreted in the participants' urine before taking the citrus pectin and 24 hours after. The results: the amount of deadly arsenic excreted in participants' urine increased by 130%. The amount of toxic mercury excreted increased by 150%. The amount of cadmium excreted increased by an amazing 230%. And the amount of toxic lead excreted in participants' urine increased by 560%. Now, I haven't spent a ton of time looking at all the different data. Let's just say that they were way off, and it was a fraction of that was being released, bound to and released. That's pretty impressive for a modified citrus pectin. So, where is it? Yeah. So they were talking about safety, where they're basically a zero side effect profile. Modified citrus pectin, it has been deemed extremely safe and has been tested on children as young as 5 years old who are suffering from lead poisoning. Each child tested had a dramatic increase in the excretion of lead in their urine, over 130% increase of excretion on average. And the thing that's interesting, I had this conversation with a mother 2 hours ago. She has something called GI detox, and this was the challenge that we got into. Her daughter is 19. She's self-sufficient, but she's having to do some morning supplements, some evening supplements. And when you take with some of these binders, you have to be careful when you take them because they're going to be binding to a bunch of like whatever you're taking, or the nutrients that you're getting in when you're eating. These binders are good, but they're going to strip you of those minerals. So yeah, so I mean, it was just here. So well, it eliminates toxic metals and pesticides like lead, cadmium, and mercury. Um, you're not you're like calcium and magnesium and zinc levels aren't being affected by the modified citrus pectin. So that, I mean, and I have no stake in the game. I don't have it here. I should get some, but it's just, I think that's a super cool component of it where you're not losing your minerals. Anyway, there's a lot of extra info, but here is okay. Modified citrus pectin has primarily been tested for its ability to bind to heavy metals. When healthy adults took modified citrus pectin, their urinary excretion of arsenic, cadmium, and lead increased within days. A study in hospitalized children also suggests the binder may help detox lead. And this is interesting, whereas one of the conditions, some modified citrus pectins aren't properly made if the size of the molecule is too large. It will not be absorbed. Yeah. I need to research that and see which ones or what brands are the best. I don't like that idea there. Yeah, so yeah, activated charcoal, bentonite clay, even chlorella. Chlorella is pretty cool. So that's it. There are, in fact, I just ordered a couple tests. There was a sale. A lot of times insurance doesn't cover them. I mean, send in the bill to our insurance to see if they'll reimburse, but like the genetic tests now are like $89, $99. It's just crazy. It's so shocking. In fact, I'm waiting for. See, I skip around. I'm super excited because I just put a PDF into a zip and threw it into my self-decode, and it should be ready. And it just does a full breakdown. Still working on it. It's like an AI program, and it collates all of it. I'm giddy. Okay, but yeah, test. If you're, and I'll just say this from an allopathic side, like your doctor, your provider. When I had moms coming in and they were talking about their concerns with toxins or heavy metals, and I'm just like we check, we do the finger poke, check for the lead. That's how myopic I was on the importance of looking, right? It's like if you went into the hospital and you had a deformed limb and they're like, we don't need imaging, you should be nervous. Test. You want to check it out. You want to get your tests.